Greetings, friends. This is the World Gospel Impact Church, and I am Pastor Mnyeni. I want to encourage you today on the subject, breaking limitations. We're living in an era and time where there's a lot of limitations, where people are facing different limitations because of challenges that we are facing. We are going through a pandemic. The world is changing. Technological advancement are moving too fast. Political and theological and psychological debates are raging, challenging our thinking, challenging the way we do things. Now, we need to know that we are operating with limited resources, limited contexts, limited environments, and therefore we need to know that those contexts and those environments, they cannot define the true potential that is actually endowed in our own lives. So as we move forward, we need to be aware that in order for us to achieve the best of our capacity or the best of our potential, we need to be able to understand and take stock of our lives and say, what are the limitations that are stopping me from becoming who I want to be? Or what are the limitations that are stopping me from performing at my maximum capacity or to the maximum potential that I need to be living in? Now, what are the limitations? How do we define limitations? Limitations are boundaries. Limitations are standards that have been set previously. Limitations can be restraining markers, those points in life that say you cannot move beyond this point. It can be some things that certain people, they have achieved and, they have actually, said to you, you can never achieve further than what they have actually got. And also, boundaries are barriers, the barriers that are stopping you from achieving your true potential, your maximum potential. So you need to ask yourself to say, am I living my life to the best that God wants me to live, right? So we know that in life, people who are respected are those who have broken certain limitations. It is not just in what they have achieved, but it is in what they have beaten, the odds that they had to come against in order for them to achieve what they achieved. So the limitations that you break will bring you the breakthrough that you desire. Before you get into your breakthrough, before you get into the level where you achieve your dreams, you need to be able to understand what limitations do you need to break in order for you to operate in your full potential. What are the sources of limitations that we get? We get limitations from the background in the way that we, have been cultured. We get limitations from experiences. Maybe we tried something and then we failed. And, then we're scared to come back and try again. We are scared to, be disappointed or to actually not being applauded in what we are doing. So we resort to a limited state of self. So we need to move, therefore, and say some of the sources of limitations can be the environment where you're operating on. It can be, family, it can be the culture, the associations, the people that you relate to. They can actually set certain limitations where you see that, you've got people that you admire in that environment. And when you look at them and you're like, I don't think I can achieve better than my uncle. I don't think I can achieve better than my boss. He started this company from scratch, and out of whatever background, and I don't have those credentials that he had for me to achieve. But that then can become a source of limitation. Stop admiring people's achievements to the detriment of your own capacity. Also the stereotypes that you are a woman, you are young, you are coming from a township, then you cannot do certain things. You are disabled, you are divorced, or you are previously, disadvantaged, or whatever classification that actually brings a particular stereotype. We need to reject that and refuse it if we are going to move and break the limitations and realize our full potential. We also need to be aware of self-inflicted limitations, that sometimes we are not limited by the environment and culture, but we are limited by our very own self. That comes from our thoughts. What is our pattern of thinking? Are we thinking the thoughts that are empowering us to break limitations? What are the limiting habits? What are the actions that we are taking daily to be able to break the limitations that are in front of us? Just as everybody will face certain limitations, we'll face limited resources, we'll face limited time, we'll face limited friends, limited support. True potential is realized when our back is against the wall, when we are facing those limitations and we beat them. That is when then we get that moment of pride that says, wow, I'm very happy. I'm so happy that I was able to challenge myself to beat this particular limitation. So self-inflicted limitations, they come in thoughts, they come in habits, they come in beliefs, and also they come in action. There are things that are self-limiting that come from the way we do things. You can think big, but if you cannot act big, your dream remains just a dream. So breaking limitations is about challenging the status quo. Remember, if we don't grow, we die. And if we are not continuing forward, moving forward to break barriers and limitations, then we get into a state of stagnation. And stagnation breeds envy. You become envious of your siblings, envious of your colleague, envious of those who are achieving, because they are exposing just how much limited or maybe how much of laziness you have in your own self. So it's very important that we live to break limitations. Every day there's got to be a limitation. Every month, you set those goals for yourself. So how do you break limitations? Number one, you need to dream big. Number two, you need to desire more. Number three, you need to lead a life that is driven by a vision-driven life, a purpose-driven life. How do you beat limitations? Number four, you challenge yourself to grow on a daily basis. You set goals for yourself, smart goals. You aim higher than yesterday, aim higher than what people think you can achieve. Number you build capacity to break the limitations. You cannot just break limitations by wishing. You need to study, you need to train, you need to work hard. You need to review your previous action and say, am I getting closer to the breaking of this particular limitation? Number seven, you build the relationship with people who are challenging you to grow, people who are challenging you to break the limitations that are facing your life. Ask yourself these questions. What more can I do? What can I achieve, or why can I not achieve to the best of my ability? What do I need to do in order to build capacity to break through? What is it that I fear if I move forward? What is it that I fear that makes me want to stay within certain limitations? Let me close by these few words. People who break limitations in life, they become significant. They are remembered. Remember, when we talk about races and athletes, we remember those who break records. Those records that were set by the previous generation, they can either be a limitation to the coming generation, or the coming generation can take that limitation and say, I aspire to beat the record that was set in front of me. Your father's achievement, your mother's achievement, let them not be limitations, but let them be, a motivation for you to go forward. You cannot break the record if you don't see yourself going beyond that particular achievement. I need us today to be encouraged to see beyond our current context, beyond our current problems, and beyond what we think it is the norm and the status quo that people have actually come to embrace. You can do more if you believe that you can. God bless you.